Welcome back to The Real Room. I'm your host, LaCretia Mitchell. And on this episode, this conversation is one that's close to my heart. We talk a lot about success, legacy, and leadership, but today we're taking a step further. We're diving into the power of mentorship in the Black community. Not just in the Black community, though, but in every community. Because when people have guidance, when they feel seen, supported, and believed in, it changes everything. What if more of us had healthy, positive mentorship? Could we see less chaos in our communities, less hatred towards one another, and more empathy for the next person just trying to make it through? I believe we could. Mentorship isn't just about passing down knowledge. It's about passing down compassion. It's about shaping hearts, not just habits. And it's about choosing to reach back and lift up the next generation, even when the world tells us to only focus on ourselves. This isn't just about titles or achievements. It's about influence. It's about those movements and moments when somebody believed in you before you believed in yourself. It's about community, connection, and the courage to reach back. I've got some incredible guests joining me on this episode. They're leaders, visionaries, and community builders who understand what it means to pour into others and to see potential before it's fully formed. Let's get into it. Welcome, y'all. How are y'all?
Peace. We good.
Peace.
Doing
Doing
well.
good.
Yes, I'm excited for y'all to be here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so real quick before we get started, I need everybody to introduce themselves. You can give names, titles, leadership roles, whatever that may look like. We're going to start from my left.
Sure.
Starting with you and go this way.
Okay, sure. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ibrahim Jalo, a licensed therapist, a member of the Nation of Islam, multi-fraternalist, father, husband, genuine, among all. So that's a little bit about me.
Well,
Yeah.
Let's go. Dr. Danielle Cole, CEO and founder of Modern Manhood Foundation, as well as a father, husband, author, and a speaker.
Hello, everyone. My bad. My name is Shayah McCombian. I am a licensed mental health practitioner and coach. I also am the owner of Impact to Imprint Mental Health Wellness, where we focus on mental health, culture, and spirituality and how those things impact our day-to-day life.
my name is Courtney Mack Woods McClain, father, son, husband, author, educator, Emmy Award-winning
That's
actor.
right. That's right.
Grammy considered, Apple charted, spoken word artist, and everything professional development.
Love
Come
it.
on,
Let's go.
listen.
Good job, bro.
Let's go.
I couldn't have did it any better. Okay, I appreciate y'all for that one.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
let's get into it with a little icebreaker. Typically, I do this or that, but for y'all, I wanted to do a little bit, something a little bit different, just because of the topic that we're talking about. And so, when I mention shows like Family Matters, Different World, Living Single, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, what comes to mind?
I'll go first. To quote great James Baldwin, if a place for you does not exist in which you fit, create it. And so for me growing up, seeing Cosby, Different World, Fresh Prince, all of these were very integral when it comes to seeing myself. But it was an opportunity for the world to not just see our swag, how beautiful we are, but our humanity.
Yeah.
That's right.
And depending on the writing and the narratives, which they did a phenomenal job, they put them in spaces where the sentiment of slavery is not the whole dynamic of the show,
Got you.
but what it's like to be a father, what it's like to be a love interest,
Right.
to show black love,
Yeah.
to even, Different World, I wanted to be Dwayne Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I had aspirations of college very young off of Different World.
Yeah.
So being able to see myself on TV, or a reflection of, or what I could be, was phenomenal for me.
Yeah. It's good.
No,
Anybody?
that's good. To that same sentiment, when I growing up watching A Different World, I knew I was gonna go to a HBCU because of that show.
Mm-hmm.
And just how it embraced so many cultural experiences, how it took the time to give us those cultural lessons that we don't talk about in our day-to-day, like in the classroom, even though of course it's for TV, but still it's those things that was also informing us and helping us learn more about ourselves. And then also for the other shows, to me, it represented hope.
That's
I know.
You know, when you even though our worlds may have been chaotic, to sit down and see structure within the family, respect within a family, love and sacrifice within the family, it made you believe that that was possible for you too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Great.
Listen, I think y'all summed it up. That was it.
That was great.
Yeah. And I think for me, the reason why that question was so important is because it was representation for me. I felt the same exact thing. And I think it's important for us to talk about what mentorship looks like within the Black community, but honestly across the board within all communities, right? Because when I grew up, that's what I got to watch, right? Now we look at what we see now and it's like, okay, what are they, what representation is there, right?
Yeah, sure.
What are they having the opportunity to grasp and to get and to take from? And so I honestly, if we trusting in Reels and TikTok and all of the things that's going on, I'm just worried about this next generation, right? So that is the reason why this topic is so important, mentorship within the Black community. And I wanted to bring all of y'all together because all of y'all are leaders in your own villages and at your own level, and you guys are doing amazing things. And so I think what better people to bring than you all.
Appreciate being here.
Thanks.
All right, so are we ready to get into it?
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Okay, now listen, we're not stopping, okay? So everybody good? We ready?
Good.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's get it.
All right, here we go. So first question, what does true mentorship in the Black community look like to you, and how is it different from simply giving advice?
I'll take this one. I think when I look at mentorship, when you look at it from a cultural standpoint, it's always been something that was been a part of our community. You know, mentorships means not only guiding the youth, but making it a part of your life. You know, you can really tell a lot about yourself by what you do on the weekends, right? What do you do with yourself when you have yourself? You see what I'm saying? And so for me, mentorship has been impactful in my life because it gave me the resources that I needed from life experiences with people that I had to deal directly with. You know, even when you think about it, a part of our history, we didn't do a lot of writing. Right. We didn't have the room for that. So it was a mouth to ear conversation on how you pass down cultures, how you pass down truth and wisdom like that now. And I think that we should not get away from that with this generation because there's something with the interpersonal relationship that you build with people. That's what they call it social capital. And it also, if you don't invest into the future, which the youth is our future. If you don't invest into them, then you kind of leave that up to a chance. And there's so many different influences, like Sister LaCretia said, there's so many different influences that we're now looking up to, and half of the people don't know what they're talking about. They just have a platform to speak, right? You know, so
and we're losing our social capital. When you bring that term up.
No, you good, beloved.
But yeah, like we're losing our social capital because, like I'm in juvenile centers. I'm in. I work with young men who are transitioning from prison and such, and most of these cats that are so judgmental, and I'm talking about older Black men. I say older, my age and older. Our age. You know, it's 40 sitting on me, but it's all right. But a lot of these cats that are so judgmental on these younger brothers, they're looking at them as YNs. And they're scared of them. They're scared of them. If you walk past a group of young men and you don't even have the intentionality to say hello, you're afraid of them. And some of it can be maybe you're not from that and you're not cut like that. But then also you forgot. You forgot what it's like to be young and ambitious and a little worried and a little kind of steered in the wrong direction or trying to find yourself. You forget what that's like. So now you can't identify with it.
Absolutely.
That means you can't relate to them. And so because of that, they notice that.
Right.
Because they looking at us as haters now. Now you can't, if you even do have the wherewithal to go and talk to them, you don't have that social capital with them So they don't want to hear nothing you have to say
Right.
because they can tell that you don't mess with them like that.
Yeah.
Yes,
And so for the mentorship, for me, I think it's always been a long-standing cultivation between two people, or more relationship wise.
Right.
Like I learn from my mentee, they learn from me, but I also can appreciate what a champion is. I like to talk about two dynamics. Mentoring is advice, but we're cultivating one another. And I can give you some game, and you can give me some from being a young person as well. But a champion, I got this from Dr. Mantra Jones, president of O-Trip. She told me some years ago, a champion puts you in rooms to change your life. And sometimes a mentor is just someone who you can talk to and you can confide in. But a champion will put you in rooms and put you in places that you're not allowed in yet. And so I try to be both for young people.
That's good, bro.
It's good.
Yeah, that is good.
I think one thing I would add to it is that a mentor gives you a blueprint, right? Great advice, it can be beneficial, but it's not necessarily constructive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Great advice is just advice. It's something you can use, but there's an intention behind having a mentor that's going to give you a blueprint, and that's a map that can get you to your destination, especially considering secondhand information is less riskier, it's less costly, and it's beneficial. And from a spiritual standpoint, it allows you to have a form of expansion that's not attainable when it's only just great advice. I can give you tips all day, but a mentor is somebody that can take their experiences, give it to somebody that hopefully can lead them in a direction that can be of a greater benefit to the people that they're called to steward. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes with great advice, especially with social media, we can take psychology. We hear a word like narcissism, and now we just throw that word around. Everybody's a narcissist, right? And that can be very, very destructive if you're not using it in a proper context, and if you don't have the education in which it matches the expertise or the specialty to what you should be delivering. And a lot of that can be, it can cause more havoc and destruction than it can be a benefit, you know?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I would say when I think about mentorship, I think about it as a chessboard. Everyone has a vital part to play. Doesn't matter if you're a pawn or from the pawn to the king. Every person's part is instrumental because it's people on each one of those levels.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so I think that is number one important. I spend a lot of my time mentoring young people, and I also work in the school in one of our local high schools, partnering with one of our local high schools, working with the youth. And one thing that I hear from them a lot, especially when it comes from disengagement and disrespect, is that they see us as hypocrites.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so in that, a little bit to what you were alluding to as well, is that respect factor. You're a hypocrite, so you'll, for one, tell me to do something you're not willing to do, and then you're going to disrespect me in the process of telling me to do what you're not willing to do. And so that is one reason for me, even as a licensed practitioner, I'm in the school setting, at least, I really moved away from the counseling model and picked up the mentorship model, which means I show up. My information that I give you is only as credible as how I'm showing up and modeling it for you. And so I don't have to be in a power struggle with a young person, because the energy and the presence and the consistency that I show them, they automatically fall in line because they want mentorship. They want structure. We have to be willing to check ourselves, I believe, to make sure that we are able to bring them up. So to me, that's what it is yes, the information, yes, also putting them in rooms that they may have not been in for themselves, but making sure that they are connecting with the value piece of who they are, and that is being affirmed through the way you show up to them.
Dude, that means that fruit too. What does your fruit look like?
What's your fruit?
And sometimes it ain't even being a hater. It's like sometimes, bro, you think because you are older, you have a sense of superiority over me. Right? And that's just egoic in nature. You know what I'm saying? It's not a mutual exchange. It's me being dominant because I'm older than you. And it's like, but what is the fruit saying? Why would I want to even follow that as a mentor, emulate that, you know?
Yeah. I heard a long time ago, some of y'all are just old niggas.
No, for real.
That doesn't mean you have more game, that you did something with your life, that you know more than me, with the superiority complex. you just old. And so when you don't do your own self audit, you don't check yourself, and then you go into spaces thinking you're going to be a mentor, but your whole dynamic, your whole delivery is just judgment.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nah, they're on defense immediately.
I think also when I'm gonna play a defense on a little bit. You know, with some things, even in our own household, my children don't have the space to question me on certain things. I don't ask a child, what do you want to eat? Because I know you don't know what you should eat that's good for you.
Yeah.
So I was raised old fashioned. If it's in front of you, eat it or go to bed home. Right. I'm only saying that to say I think a lot of these young people, when they get on TV, they see a lot of self-led people in their age group. Because think back, bro, we never judged our grandfathers and our grandmothers because they didn't have it all figured out when we were growing up.
Right.
I think sometimes we gotta articulate to them that I'm pouring into you while I'm still getting poured into myself. And I think that's a conversation that we gotta have, because there's a quote, they said, if you don't pay for it, you'll pay for it. You know what I'm saying? And so in some aspects, I sit back and I look at and I reflect on my own childhood. I had my critiques, right? But I didn't know that the love that I felt like I wasn't getting was because that person was still trying to figure out what their love language and what they needed.
Come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes in our culture, we've been late bloomers, right?
Oh, facts.
So we don't have everything figured out. You know, I remember back in the day when you turn a certain age, your grandfather or your mother would come to you and they would break. They said, "This is your plate." Wasn't no extra plates. Everybody had one plate. And when you got old enough, they break that plate and say it's time for you to learn how to feed yourself. I think now as a community, what we got to start focusing on, especially those of us, because mentorship first starts in the household, right? We got to understand that while we're living, we're training. We're training these young people to be self-independent and self-sufficient at some point. So we got to never miss the mark at doing that. You see what I'm saying? And these young people got to know, yes, we may not have it all together. Yes, we're trying to figure things out. But some of us are still football coaches and we showing up on an empty tank.
Come on, bro.
Some of us are therapists and still showing up with the last note's not approved. You see what I'm saying? Some of us are still coming into prisons like myself, working with you while still putting books on somebody that I love that's there. So this, I think on both sides, with those of us who consider ourselves, I'll say mature, and those that are considered themselves as being youngest, both of us have to be a little bit more patient, you know, because sooner than later they gonna turn our age and the conversation gonna be
real quick.
Really, the conversation is gonna be the same. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so I was always taught with you know, people judge you on the outside of things. We find this culture, this community has been taught, not our community, but just the young people, value is placed on what you have, not with who you are. You see what I'm saying? If you don't have these certain things, but where did that come from though? You see what I'm saying? It comes from a model that's been placed before you. That's why the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that, and I'm going to paraphrase, the enemy will be in your living room. But he's talking about the television. You see what I'm saying? Because what you're doing is, it's just like giving your child a phone and not monitoring. You just gave them access to all this stuff in the world from all kind of people, and you expect them to be responsible with that. So my information to the young people would be this. Don't be so quick to judge because you don't know what we sacrifice to be present. How many teachers, we can judge the public school system all you want, but how many of us didn't go across town for the high salary because we wanted to be there to be an example?
Come on.
So I think sometimes us as mature people, we have to kind of remind them that you may have the creativity and the mental space to question, but you ain't got the life experiences to know why certain things.
I think the caveat from the mentee standpoint though is consistency. Like for instance, if you have that uncle, if you have that father, you have that parental unit that's telling you things that you may not agree with, and it's like, don't question me, but this is someone who's very consistent in your life. This is a person who makes sure I'm fed, that I have a bed to sleep in, a roof over my head. So even if I can't see it at that moment that this is the best thing for me, at least this individual in front of me is consistent, so I have some level of trust because that authenticity of the relationship is there. And so I believe that from a mentorship standpoint, if we show up, even while we're all still working on ourselves, but if you show up and you consistent, they're more open to hear you out, even if you're still in the process of working yourself.
That's a good point, bro.
Listen, That was all good. I'm just sitting back like, yes, I don't have to say nothing or answer a question.
you
Y'all
got
are
it.
going. Listen, no, but it's a great segue into something I heard today, and it was John Maxwell, and he said something along the lines where you got to find where people are first, right? And I think it's important for us to understand not only where the youth are coming from, but also just people around us. We never know what somebody is going through. So my question to y'all with that is, how do you determine if you're going to be a mentor to someone based off of just their life and what they're going through? Like, how do y'all make that determination if I'm going to pursue this and be their mentor, or if I'm going to back away?
I think it depends on the type of mentor you want to be. Even with the advice given, I am a huge believer in planting seeds. Sometimes, because the thing of it is that they have to be on the receiving end and the willing end as well. I can't want it. I could want it more than they do. However,
What's going to be
it's
ROI?
right. I can't. I'm not a magician. I can't make them pursue the thing. I can't make them be ready for that. And so sometimes what I believe we are not the best at is again, we have to check ourselves. For one, are you doing this because you want to feel good about yourself and say, look at me, I'm a mentor, check. I'm in the community, check. So you have all these things where you are patting yourself on the back, but you're lackluster in your ability to be effective in your connection. And so to me, if you're going to be a mentor, first and foremost, be humble. And also to know where they are, spend time with them. I never go into any community or an environment assuming that I know. I may have some knowledge, I may have some understanding, but I have to sit and understand why it affects you that way. Why are you responding that way, so that I can make sure that I'm not projecting. We just have to be, I believe, careful about that and understand that this is something that's going to take patience. I believe, again, one of the reasons we don't have as many mentors is because it's not happening as quick as they want to. The turnaround. I done reached out to them 3 times, they ain't saying nothing. I'm moving on. I done gave them all this advice. I gave them this lead to this job. I told them to show up here, and they didn't. I'm done. And I just failed to think about what would happen to us, if people who are instrumental in our own lives gave up on us that easy.
But when is enough though?
I think
that's a good question too.
I think sometimes for people, you got to honor your capacity. So I've been really mindful that even if it's just a conversation, to make sure I'm pouring into certain people. You know what I'm saying? I have some of the guys I've been mentoring for like 15 years, right? And they may not show up ideally all the time. But it doesn't take much to have an hour conversation. I'm just going to have lunch. I think sometimes we still approach it with an expectation. And sometimes they can be hindering a little bit because there's an agenda behind it. You know? We don't even do that with our own friends all the time. Sometimes it's just creating a space where they can feel present. They can get what's off their heart. I think sometimes we overwhelm ourselves by the obligation. Now, there are times where I'm like, listen, and Mom, like, this is what's going on with my kid, A, B, C, D. I'm like, listen, I don't have the capacity. I don't want to lie because I would be doing them a disservice because I don't have the time to devote to them. But I can always get a group of like 5 of my homeboys, hey, bro, this is what's going on. Let's pull up on them. And I've talked to a few of them like 10, 15 years now, like, hey, bro, you know what? You wouldn't have lunch with me. You got your homies together. And I want to let y'all know that was a big breakthrough I had with my mom because of that conversation. So I want to have a model like it's no kid left behind, because I've been like, they're like, oh, let me go save the world. And, I broke beyond the environment and I survived. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? It's not realistic because you can't save everybody. But like you mentioned, you can plant the seed and it's been beautiful. Me and my wife had a foster kid 2 years ago. And my daughter said, hey, she needs a ride. Came over to our house and she was there and she was like, stayed a couple of days. And I'm like, hey, what's your story? And she's like, well, I grew up in foster care. My parents were on drugs. And she's just like, I'm staying with the aunt. Something happened to her where it was abuse. And she was just like, so I'm sleeping on friends' couches. And she was a junior. And she said, hey, one day she's just like, can I stay with you? And I was like, okay, let's figure this out. And she was like, I just want to get a car. Just let me stay until I can get a car. And I was like, well, then what's after that? She's like, well, I'll get a job. And I was like, but what about graduation? And she started crying because graduation wasn't even a thing on her mind.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing she was thinking is, let me get a car. How much money you got saved up? You ain't got a job, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like at this point, where you're at mentally, you would probably sell your car to get gas money, right? Because there's much more than just survival. Now, there was some stuff happening where I, helped her get a license and she was able to stay with us. But the love that we was giving her was so overwhelming, she didn't have the capacity to receive it. She would create dysfunction and toxicity because that was the foundation that was framed in her psyche. It wasn't intentional, it's that she couldn't handle it. And so we got to the point where we had that conversation. Listen, you don't trust us because this is not new to you. I understand it. However, I have to find a better place for you. It's not here. But she still calls me. I almost bought her. She's like, I'm gonna get a what's the car that they be wanting? The skate pad or the I forgot what the car is. All the young kids want, bro. $50,000-$60,000 car. You know what I'm saying? She was gonna get it. I'm like, don't do that. Get you a Honda, right? And she got like a foreign car and came over with it, but it was like a Honda or a Toyota. But I was like, dope, she got it. She got it. And I look at some of my kids who, not to knock my kids, but they have a sense of entitlement. But I do look at this kid and I'm like, yo, I got adopted when I was 17 by a mentor. Dad was hitting on my sisters. I defended my sisters and I got put out for defending them. You know what I'm saying? And I held that grudge. But there was the first African-American retired police officer, a woman that adopted me when I was a senior. And when I first met her, she said, you're my son. Didn't know this woman. And she said, God put you in my life for you to be my son. And I'm trying to ask her down to the prom, you know what I'm saying? But she ended up being a sister to me, and that changed my life radically. She showed me so much love that I wanted to know who was the person she saw me for, because I had never experienced love on such an amazing level. So for me, I'm like, if I could just give that to somebody, maybe it can break the stronghold of the constructs that people have been unconsciously internalizing in who they are. Because even though they've been through the rough, that's not really who they are. They're really an eternal soul who has framed from their conditioning this identity that just doesn't serve them, And it does take patience.
For sure.
No, that's
Man, that was good.
Yeah, like
I know.
I say, I'm about to cry. I said I was going to do it.
But
He's going to make me
it's
do it.
loving them through their pain. That's what I'm hearing. And that's really what it is that we just have to,
and sharing it like,
with
yo,
them.
I've been there, I get it. Like I'm telling you. And I think that's important because we don't have the frame of reference. At the age I'm at right now, I'm 43. I'm telling you, some stuff I go through, and I'm like, I call my dad, and I'm like, bro, you ain't got it. I call my mom, I'm like, she ain't got it. Because they haven't involved in her consciousness. And it's not to knock them, but it's just the reality that I think sometimes we do forget. I've been there. But I think that's why God takes us through the journey of what this looks like for ourselves. It's because it's beautiful when they can see it. I've had people like, bro, you're gonna talk like you from the hood, but I can tell you with the shit, you a square, you funk, you know what I'm saying? But I can tell, bro, like, you moving like, I get it. So let's have a real conversation. And for the longest, it felt like a hindrance. Like I had to, be fake or, you know what I'm saying? But when I come at them like that, they get it. And if you can just get them to get it for just a little bit. Bruh, it can be magical, man.
Wow.
It's that authenticity.
Authenticity is a superpower.
People see that.
People can see it on you.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's important. Let me ask this. How have you personally seen mentorship shape not just an individual, but an entire community or family?
I'm going to use myself as a soundboard. I think to what you were saying, brother, you think, the good side of technology is back in the day, people that made it through the circumstances of the hood, you didn't really see them often, right? But now with the television, you can hear their story. You can see where they are. You can see where they live. You can see how they were able to make it through those things. So that is a good aspect of it, that you can see people that look like you that are doing things different. There isn't just one model for masculinity. There are different models. And sometimes it comes in the form of patience and gentleness. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I was looking at, and it's personal to me, is if I could explain in words how powerful the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, bro. Not saying that for nobody else to feel that way. That what he has, and then I know a little bit more than you, the common person, about the suffering that he had to endure. You know, almost death, and then he would say, Allahu Akbar. God is the greatest. He wouldn't complain about it. He said, you know what, if this is what you willed for me, thank you for the opportunity to serve you. And being able to sit and watch somebody speak truth to power like that. And I remember when I was in the darkness or ignorance, right? Didn't even know I was ignorant, you know? Coming out of that from just watching a man that was serious. And that's why it's kind of mentorship for me. All of us assign mentorship because all it means is somebody depending on you in some form or fashion. There's no father that's not a mentor. There's no mother, right? You got all of us got to depend on each other for something in some way, form, or fashion, right? And some of us are still living off of the traditions of grandmothers that we don't see today. The old school grandmothers. You know what I'm saying? But we never judged them on any of that stuff that we look at now that we're judging people on. We didn't even know we were poor.
Come on, bro.
So I think a lot of times we got to remind ourselves that it's not always about the materialistic things, right? But getting back to Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, man, I remember when I was in college and I heard this man. I had critiques, but the consistency. I had never seen nobody talk like that. To the point to I started looking at myself like, you know, and I had a friend, he was like, man, I want to be Farrakhan. Right? And I just came back from Africa. I'm like super Muslim now. You hear me? Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. I'm like, I'm super Muslim, right? But if I felt good, it felt natural. It felt like the Negro was getting addressed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, this feels good. Knowledge of self feels great.
Bro. It's amazing.
Right? But when I found a guide, though, that gave me a standard, I think it's like nothing else in the world matters. Sometimes you gotta, I want you to remember this, bro. Sometimes some of us have to put our desires to the side to feed the poor and the ones that are out of doors and the ones that are ignorant. And sometimes feeding the poor ain't got to do with money. Some of us are poor in spirit.
Absolutely.
Because ain't nobody pouring into us. So there's a lot of things that I've had to give up.
Come on, bro.
That I love, that I'm good at. But you know, that's why I say I don't want my passions to become my vanities.
Come on.
You see what I'm saying? That's why when we clap, we say all praises belong to Allah because who gave you that talent?
Absolutely.
You know, and we're often told that God don't make you beautiful. He don't make you articulate. He don't make you handsome. He don't make you beautiful for people to come and drool in your face all day. He do it because he wants you to have the disposition to get in front of people and guide them to something better. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's what I see in all of us and what we're kind of striving to do is to use these things or to use these positive attributes to guide people towards something higher. And we can't leave God out of the question. You know what I'm saying? So however, in whatever flavor that comes, you know what I'm saying? Because it fine-tunes itself over time. I was radical. You know what I'm saying? You know, but then I started sitting back, and you know, in a righteous way.
I was there.
And the Quran said, "Hear truth and falsehood till you knock his brains out." So I took that serious. But what I started learning is when you get to know people, the parts about them that you don't know, you start adding in compassion instead of assumption.
Absolutely.
Because we've been made of very suspicious people. So we're taught that this thing called settle on the best part. Right? And what that means is that all of us have a side of us that ain't the best.
Absolutely.
But in all of our dealings with each other, just try to settle on the best part. Lend some courtesy. Like maybe they didn't call because that brother busy. I don't say, oh, he don't care. He just didn't return the call. And I think a lot of my friends that a lot of them, they don't bother me because they know I'm busy.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But they never take that to say that I don't care about them. So as a man now, I'm learning to carry the load that I can carry. You know what I'm saying? Because we all reach a breaking point. So
absolutely.
You touched on something real quick, accessibility. So you have the youth now, or just people in general, that they see these things, right? They aspire to be these things that are on social media or these people. But I think there's a gap how do you get there? What are the necessary steps that I have to take to get to that place? And I think the issue is when we talk about mentorship, there's not enough of us showing them the actionable steps to get there, the correct steps to get there. We just think, again, microwave generation, like, ooh, pop, it just happened. No, it didn't happen. There's a lot of sleepless nights in this success that you see sitting on this panel. There's a lot of sleepless nights and tears and all kinds of things that we've gone through to get to where we're at. And so if you don't have people that are accessible that can, you know, show you the actionable steps, then there's a problem, right? And so how do we fix that? How do we get more people like us, right, that are in these type of roles to encourage other people to go back and help our youth?
So I think modern manhood was probably one of the biggest things that I've seen us be able to do that. You know, during the pandemic when we just did like our man cave meetups and fellas like, you know, Mac, now Jalo, whenever we create a space and a platform for men to be in rooms where they might be 17 to 77, it's just creating a space for the possibility to even happen. A lot of times they don't have this space where they think it's attainable. I've even seen some where I'll be like, yo, the moms hit me up. I'm like, just drop them off. Don't even say what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because they have so much. Man, I just came here. I thought it was gonna be some females here. Nah, we got a couple females on the board. They're gonna be serving you some food, you know. But I mean, it's just the reality that some of them come. They're like, dude, you know what? This is dope. Because I didn't even know what this was. Now I can ask about stocks, bro. I had questions about stocks because a lot of them don't have the platform, and so all they do have is TikTok, which isn't bad. And sometimes you got to get it how you live. Like when I was growing up in the hood, I didn't have a lot of mentors that was around me like that. I had books, you know, before books was just a cool thing to even have. So whatever research that you have to grab that. But I think us being able to create spaces where we can plug in like that would make it happen. Because a lot of the fellas that I talk to, they're looking for opportunities to have people to pour into. Outside of just working a job and their kids, they have a wealth of knowledge. They're like, I just need somewhere to pour it out, you know?
I think we underestimate mentoring our peers. I think we underestimate that. A lot of grown men, they'll get in my DMs and be like, bro, man, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, bro.
I just appreciate what you're doing. I look up to you. And these are grown men that's either my age or a little older than me. And so I very much live by action. I live by the term execution God. And so I'm going to show you I don't need to actively, intentionally pour into you and have a conversation with you. I'm going to show you. And by my action, I'm from the South Side, Sunny Lanes all day.
Come on.
And so, Sunny Lanes, Dale City kid. And so I've right there on 29th and Sunny Lane, I go to that 7-Eleven when I go see my moms or just in the neighborhood when I come into town. And I've had multiple random young men or brothers my age come to me like, hey, man, I seen you on Facebook doing such and such. Now I have a backpack drive I do in the fall because they saw what I did. And so being actionable, and I appreciate social media for that. People be like, oh, man, we need to shut social media down so y'all can get back to real life. And I'm like, it depends on how you're using it. If you're on TikTok all day scrolling for 3 hours and you're not effective in your life, you're not showing your spouse any love, you don't take care of your kids or whatever have you, you're not using social media right. In my way, I'm utilizing it in a way that I'm going to show you everything I'm doing. I'm going to be an open book when it comes to my mentorship, me being a mentee myself and pouring into my community. And so through my action, hopefully it can inspire someone. But if you reach out to me, I'm going to give you step-by-step guidelines on how I got to where I am.
That's good.
Because I don't play the whole motivational speaker thing.
No, bro.
Not
anytime.
No, for real.
Hey, anytime.
Shay said.
He don't play,
Look,
okay?
anytime somebody put me on a flyer or something, or I'm a keynote for something, they always want to put some author, blah, blah, motivational speaker, and I'll reach out to them like, please, will you remove that? I am a behavioral readiness architect. And what that means to me is that I am going to show you that pressure isn't all bad. Now, stress will kill you. Pressure make diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
you
right.
know.
Here y'all go. Man, throwing up secret hand signs is
Here you go.
crazy, bro.
Here you go.
I think you said something really important though. Like that hit it on the head. Like if you are going to mentor someone, make sure you are being mentored.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Don't like it because it's also setting yourself up for failure because you're going with good intentions to pour, and like you said, the capacity. And a lot of times it's because we do take on a savior complex in the best way, right? Like no one is showing up for these kids or showing up for whatever. I'll do it, and you then start feeling resentful too when people aren't showing up the way that you think that they should.
Come on.
And so I think definitely if you are going to coach someone, be coachable. Another thing is I hear like when you were speaking, Jalo, about like a standard and or how we didn't judge our foremothers and forefathers for the way that they showed up. And I do believe that is because it was the value that they took in what they did. It wasn't about them being perfect, but they were committed. Like they took pride in what they do. One thing I think we skip over so much, and I have seen the direct impact that it specifically having on this community, is the results of the COVID pandemic.
Oh
Yeah.
The what?
Yeah. It shifted the culture.
The pandemic.
Absolutely.
We were so ready to get up out of it and get life back to normal that we skipped over some things. And
Come on,
again,
sis. I can't wait to see the results of that either.
our youth being a big part of that. And so there's a gap that they have. And until we go back and fix and address that gap in us, then we really can't adequately address that.
Come on.
I'm
Right?
curious on what you're talking about. Break that down. Like, give me an example of what you think we skipped over. What are you saying?
Skipped over. So this is working. I was also working as a counselor, a middle school counselor during the pandemic. So that was me engaging with students. That was me engaging with the faculty and parents. And because for the first time for a lot of us, I would say millennials and Gen Xers specifically, we were confronted with ourselves in a way that we have not been confronted with before.
Absolutely.
And because we tend to be raised to be hyper vigilant and go and get the bag and go get the and go right now. You want me to sit with these things that I don't even know how to adjust.
Absolutely.
So what we then start doing is distracting ourselves.
Compulsiveness.
We disassociate. And it's for our own means and our own survival. And what I saw in a lot of that time is that these children had to emotionally learn how to show up for themselves.
Absolutely.
And so yes, they may have had the physiological needs met. But again, a lot of the parents couldn't stop working. A lot of them don't know how to work this computer. When they gave those Chromebooks out, like the search for pornography and suicide ideation shot up. Shot up. And when I'm talking to parents, they are worn. They don't know what they like. Just do what you're gonna do. Right. And like it's a tiredness. And then it's some that demonize these parents for not being able to show up. And then we say, oh, well, it starts in the home, which is why I take a particular interest in really dissecting and breaking down the nucleus of that thing.
That's good. I really like this.
And so that is where, and so to me, again, all of this is meticulous work. It is the minute that then makes the magnificent. So I have to,
preach.
so it is
Y'all
me.
make me cry, man.
I really like this.
Drop that quote, just kept going through it.
Let's go.
I got a sense of humor. I'm just kidding. That makes sense though.
But it's those things, and it's really listening to the heart again of our community, because why I'm so passionate about youth is because it's our lineage. It was someone, to your point earlier, it was a forefather and foremother 100 years ago who never knew that I would exist and what I looked like, but still decided that I was worth it.
Come on, sis.
So I really think that we don't have the option to decide whether or not we
You
want to
gonna
be
do it or not.
mentors
Yeah.
is whether or
it's
not
not
we
assuming.
we walk into it and
Yeah.
speak into
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you think otherwise, I feel for you. Because listen, God don't play about this soul work. It's
Yeah.
like if you don't do the journey, it's gonna
That's
do you.
it.
You
Or
can either
somebody
do
else
it.
gonna do it.
It's
Yeah.
stewardship. You have
I mean,
Yeah.
but Jen, I think you have a sense of quiet desperation, and I think that's why a lot of people suffer for it because we know, and maybe it's just my own personal bias. That I feel like people know that they're called to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's undeniable. Like when when you're gifted and you're skilled in it, and it's not anything you have to work to attain. It's just fluid. It's not of your own doing.
100%.
You get what, I'm
What do you
saying?
think stops them? Is it fear? Is it capacity to handle? What is your
Man, I
thoughts?
think it's programming. I think society has programmed us to think that chasing the bag, hustle culture, all gas, no brakes, striving to survive at the expense of your own being has been normalized. And we see it in COVID, right? Like who you are is beautiful, like especially being made in the image of God. But the fact that we have so many shadows packed up on us in silence, it feels like we're literally breaking down. Is because we have so much conditioning that's not a part of our natural origin. How do we shed these layers? Self-doubt. Self-doubt is not normal, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if your brain is trying to save you, but a lot of us have so much potential that don't even scratch the surface because of some of these things that we have not done the work even taken care of.
Yeah.
You know? It's just, and we know it. That's the thing about it. We know it. Even with the kids and the depression, we treat it like the problem is going to solve itself magically.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to me. I talk to educators about that. I'm like, y'all know that we really do 50th in education. It's not like we magically gonna go to 10. It's
Right.
not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, and that's what made me want to do the work with men, because I felt this myself. There is this internal expectation to be great, to climb the heights of everything that you can do for yourself, your family, your community. But one thing I know is unless we do the work, it's just a fantasy.
Yep.
We can never reach our potential unless we really confront the resistance that needs to be contended against. And for most of us, it leaves our life unconsciously. It's still there.
Yeah.
It's just like your computer with all of the files open that you ain't closed, right? They still there.
Still there.
And we still trying to pack on more and more and more and more. And that's the reason why we breaking down at the end of the day. We're not given the tools and we're expected to be great. And we don't have what's necessary. The resources there in the plethora, but we're not doing what we need to do and being around the people we need to get it done. So that's my rant.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Listen, good rant. For me, this is one thing. Do I necessarily have the time? And I go back to you, Mac, and what you said. I think for me, it's just about showing up the best way that I can show up and be an example. But I've opened that door to people to, hey, come shadow me, come follow me. Let me show you what I do. Let me show you what I can help you with. You know what I'm saying? All of the things, but people aren't taking that opportunity. What do you do? Do you keep beating down the door?
Man.
Like,
Well, yeah. I mean that in essence is a hard one because you don't want to give up on people. And I got a whole workshop around the power of saying yes, because my mentality around saying yes has afforded me so many opportunities. Even if it didn't pay, it ended up setting me up for a bag later.
yeah.
Because I showed up for free,
Yeah.
showed out, an opportunity came because of it. When you are in the process of mentoring someone or trying to give advice, I think you need to impress upon them the power of saying yes, because I think that opens up the mindset around their possibilities that no one really gave to them before. No one presented it to me before. I think it was Point Gods, and they focused on Stephon Marbury. I don't know if y'all seen this documentary, but Stephon Marbury, he was in Staten Island and he was in a barbershop and he was talking to this young, like he looked like he was maybe 9, and the face on this young man's, the expression when Stephon Marbury, because they were talking about hooping, and he was like, well, if you don't make it, then what? He was like, you know you don't have to play basketball, right? You know you can be president of the United States. And like the young boy's face was just blank. And then Stephon, he was just like, nobody ever told you that? So like when you start opening up, when you start opening up conversations Shit, that gave my head goosebumps. You know how the
Yeah. He said, yeah, I know.
because when you start giving not even game, when you start giving exposure to young people that most likely are underrepresented, marginalized, oppressed, been in desperate situations since you can't underestimate what a young person have went through.
Yeah,
at the age of whatever.
For real.
From sex trafficking to being abused to being just really
it's awful.
definitely poor. You start thinking about, okay, I'm where I'm at now, but sometimes, like you said, you forget all the things you've been through.
Yeah.
So then you go to a mentorship situation and you underestimate what this young person has went through. And so they may have never known someone to tell them, you can be excellent.
Come on, man.
You can be excellent. You can do this. These are the heights you can get to. And let me walk you through the process of how to get there. Not just give you service, but actually put you in the rooms and give you the steps to make sure you accomplish your goals. When you do that, when you have a little more intentionality around your mentorship, I think, one, they'll lock in. They'll see you serious. The consistency will be there. And they see you're authentic. A lot of people that want to be mentors, they step in judgmental, not presenting their own story.
Right.
If you don't speak your own truth,
man.
young people see that automatically. It's like you wearing a costume and they can see it ain't Halloween. I can see you for what you are. And when young people can point that out, all credibility goes out the window.
Some of you said, brother, when I was growing up, I never ran from a fight, but this is the hardest I've ever been. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm swinging in the right direction. If that make any sense. I got a call from a brother today, and it's a true story. He did 23 years in prison, right? I'm at work. He called me, but I'm like, what's this random person calling? But I answered, I had time. And he was like, I just wanted to reach out to you. He said, because I'm watching you. I'll be watching you. And I'm like, yes, sir. And he said, I'm inspired. So now the humility comes in for me.
Yeah.
And he was talking and I was just kind of really humbled that the brother even thought to call me this morning.
Yeah.
Like I don't know you. But you've done 23 years in prison. You come out as something that I'm allowing you to see is inspiring you. And one of the best advices I got is that you don't have to be the example for everybody in every area. Pick the areas of your life that you don't mind sharing. That you show up the best in and do that. So don't deprive people of the opportunity to be inspired by you by what you do. Right? And the brother was talking about, an organization that he wanted to join, and he didn't get an opportunity to get into that organization, right? And I could speak being a fraternalist, and I told him, I said, well, brother, they've never seen somebody that was so far in the mud like you that's ever been civilized. They never seen, in this civilization, they got the key, but they don't know how to turn it. Because that term comes from knowledge of self.
Yeah, absolutely.
And knowledge of self may sound cliche, but it's a powerful tool. And a lot of our people are like, what are we talking about? They don't have the knowledge of self. Now, I've been extremely confused before. Chronically confused.
Yeah.
I love the transparency.
So I know what that feel like.
Yeah, I love it.
So when we talk about, like Shay was saying, the parents that can't work the computer, what I'm hearing as a therapist is these people have handled or have been given life in such a way that they haven't had time to slow down and figure it out. So for those of us who are able, for those of us that have a little bit of education that, we got nice homes, or I think it's very important to remember that there's somebody that you are like the success standard for them.
Absolutely.
But they got to get over that self-hate. That they have,
man.
Because they compare and contrast. Why am I not there? Why didn't that happen to me? And those are the people that I'm trying to find. You know what I'm saying? And to first introduce them to let you know that God don't bless some of us, right? Even atheists wake up to earn water, right?
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so to carry that same type of quality, that God quality, to find people where they are. Like I said this when me and LaCretia talked the first time. It's not that everybody can't be saved. It's that the old ways of trying to save them is not working.
I like
you know what I'm saying?
I like it.
This world's knowledge is not enough. You see what I'm saying? And so when we came up out of our situation, we immediately got to the bag, but we were still broken in certain areas.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
see what I'm saying? Mental health is not new.
Yeah,
It's how you live life.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I think now, and Minister Farrakhan said this as well, don't use, and I'm paraphrasing because I always like to quote him directly, don't use this life to showboat on what you've done.
Yeah.
Don't use it to draw people unto you. Use it as a means to draw people back to something greater than yourself.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the power to raise them
bro.
like that.
Let's go, bro. That's good.
You couldn't try to get them to worship you like what Shay was saying. You'll make a person a hypocrite because you're trying to get them to meet your standard.
Yeah.
Don't put that on people.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And it was a good book. I had a mentor, Dennis Stokes. He told me, so I'll get into that later. But anyway, he told me this. He gave me a book. It was called First Do No Harm. And when we were at the bookstore, he said, this is a good one. I never read the book, but I kept it. I still have it to this day. He gave it to the book when I was 19 years old. It was said, First Do No Harm. But I use it till today because as I matured, the older you get, the wiser you become, the more fine-tuned your mentorship becomes. But it basically says, do not add a degree of suffering to people that they already got to endure. You see what I'm saying? They take that in. Don't add an Adam's weight to what people already got to deal with. You know, now as a therapist, I'm able not only to see you as who you are now, but I'm able to see the child in you. I'm able to see the old man that we're, inshallah, that we walk into as well. You see what I'm saying? That's why with the way that the world is today, my biggest desire, man, is to just serve, bro. To be a positive example. Some of this other vanity stuff, I don't want everything that I think I want. Because the people that have it say it don't make you happy.
Listen,
you see what I'm saying?
Psychologically,
I'm cool.
like statistically and scientifically, that's a proven fact that once you get your desires, it's not near as satisfying as you thought it was going to be.
I always said I never wanted to be super rich.
Except
I never wanted to be
I don't want
extremely
them
rich.
problems.
I
I don't want them problems.
Except carrot cake.
I love me some carrot
With the
cake.
cream frosting.
I will say one thing just to wrap up on this one. There's a quote I heard that says that osmosis may be the only cure for mental deficiency, and it's something powerful. Like you
Rewind that. Say that again. One more time.
You know, we went to
Osmosis.
public school.
Osmosis may be the only cure for a mental deficiency, which means that the people within your vicinity may be the only frame of reference that can break beyond the constructs of your consciousness, right? Being exposed to people that ask you the question like that. Because I remember being younger, man, and having some mentors that show me some stuff where I'm like, this is crazy, and it's great, and it sounds good, but I go back to where people are like, you just the same old woo. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes having access and being in rooms like that is so important because it does something magically for you in the unconscious mind.
That's a good point. Wow. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Did you have something?
Well, I was going to say something. As I'm listening, especially because my mind is going to the question, like that disconnect. Why do people not take on the opportunities? And I think about that in the line of work that I do. Like even my private practice, I work with youth because that's an area where I was passionate about. I work with parents. Like I serve in each part of my business in a area where I feel like I'm gifted to serve. But what I realized in doing this work is a lot of the anger, because we know that anger is a secondary emotion.
Right.
So we know underneath that it's rejection, it's fear,
abandonment.
It's abandonment, it's all those things. So that's number one. For me, the angrier the better. Bring, come, especially a Black woman. Have a seat, sis, and let me love on you a little bit. And get it all out. Cuss me out if you need to. And that has happened with my teachers. I mean, with my parents. I have been every B word, MF, all of that. And after they got it all out, and I'm like, okay. And I accept that because that's how you feel right now. But now we need to focus on your baby. So can we do that?
That's great, man.
And then so we do. And then at the end, it's like, thank you so much. I just...
That's dope.
But what I realize is regardless if it's youth or peers, there is what we are currently dealing with is underdevelopment in our executive functioning skills.
Come on, say it again. Severely underdeveloped.
We are undercooked. And what I realize is because life has been happening to us so immensely with all the things that we deal with in culture, that we are so focused on those things that the development in certain areas that we need can seem so subtle, or maybe we just don't see them or recognize them for what they are. So it hides behind whatever that distraction or trauma is. So that's what I'm realizing is that many people are so used to lying to themselves to show up. That when it's actually time to do it, they feel inadequate. It's an imposter syndrome. And I think that's beyond cultures. I think that's beyond age, generations. And so what can we, because also if you think about that, why wouldn't it be scary? Because I might be dysfunctional, but my dysfunction was loyal to me, okay? It got me here. Survival mode got me here.
And I think that's
when nobody else was here.
I was thinking about that when you said that.
Hey, mine happened. You can sit and demonize me, but you're gonna do that and then walk away.
Right.
This has served me for better or for worse.
Listen,
right?
That's what I was thinking about when he was saying. So this is the ideal of it, right? I got this egoic mask or role that has gotten me here and it's worked well for me. Why should I do anything else? Right? I've heard people say that, like, hey, bro, you should go to counseling. Man, I've been hustling and grinding. I'm getting to the bag. I'm straight. And then you have a world who will praise that mask. I get acceptance from it. It's just like growing up in the hood, they're like, well, why won't he go to church when there's a liquor store? There's more liquor stores. And the homies in the hood, they're more accessible and resourceful than the church or than some of my family. And I don't have to change to get accepted in it. So I got this mask. It's a great identity. It doesn't feel good. It's just like a drug. I can do the drug and have the high, but when it come down, it suck. But at least I got the high. So why would I want to change anything like that?
But in the moments that you come down from the high, we've been faking it for so long that we could never even dive into true emotional fluency. So we can't even identify it. We can't identify it because we're so afraid of it anyway. So why am I getting mad? Why am I disheartened? Why am I sad? I'm not even going to start to even explore that because I'm so used to putting on the mask. And society has continuously rewarded me for the mask.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to continue to do what society has. Like
perform.
Perform. And you see that like when in young kids, I know Jalo has seen this. You see this in young men where they were crybabies in juvenile center. But once they get out,
good story.
And the young men in their neighborhood are giving them props for going. Then they turn on the mask of, I'm hard. I went blah blah blah. I did my time, whatever. And instead of learning to not go back, they've been rewarded for going in the first place. And so, because they continue to have that mask on, they're never even going to tap into emotional fluency. So they're going to be an adult like that. They're going to be a spouse like that. They're going to be a parent like that.
And even neurologically, you think about the synapses that's being fired off every single time somebody affirms that connection.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's part of that high.
But that's the part about why. Like, what's the vacuum that it's pouring into, right? Whenever the synapses are firing and they are getting a dose of like dopamine, feeling good, I'm the man or whatever. I believe that's because there's nothing substantial to hold it because of the performative part. And I believe that that's something that we should look at culturally. Again, that's why in my practice, especially as I work with Black folks, I would be remiss to not speak about generationally what culture looks like, specifically for African Americans. As a person who studies and loves to just explore the diaspora in Africana studies in general,
like it.
Understanding like it is very important to know how we are very unique in the way that we show up and even in our influence in the world. I told my kids that last week. Like, y'all's culture influenced the entire world. Like, you are the they had a hair show today, y'all. Like, it was insane. You influenced the entire world. Again, you would be remiss to not sit and understand what about this magic is that everyone else is being able to exert, and you are missing out on that. And again, it is just showing up of, for me, what that looks like culturally. And I think as we have that conversation, in order to have that conversation, there needs to be a lot of understanding and a lot of radical acceptance.
Come on.
And this is another thing that I tell my kids, like, you are loved, you are unique, you have a purpose, but you're not important. And let me break it down to you when I say that, is that you uniquely show up in the world the way that you do. But if I talk to her over here or talk to him over here, I'm going to hear a completely different story. Yeah. But the resonance of like the emotional toll and the feelings and all the things that they go through, that's something you all can relate to. You all understand struggle. You all understand loss. You all understand what it feels like to have your hands or feel like your hands is tied behind your back. That is not a unique thing. Your story is. So we have to, in really being able to see that you're not that of importance, I believe that's where the humility come in. And I really hate that we use it in such a secular sense. I've had someone work with kids like, I ain't never telling these kids to be humble. Why not?
Well, because I just take
I think there's a twofold too.
But it's okay.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
It's
Absolutely.
Okay that it's a twofold, but understand we're spiritual beings, and they have to understand that communication too. Right. Because to me, at the end of the day, we are walking in humility, or we're in our ego. And it's a delicate balance.
It very much is. It very much is.
So for me, that's the check part.
I love that.
It is not to dismiss the other one. I believe that's another thing we have to leave in the past. And that's the trauma response. Is either or.
Come on.
All or nothing.
Yeah, I think you're speaking from a place of wholeness. And I really like that. I really love that. I think one thing I want to say is, when I think about the mask, is that we have to start contending with that where it plays a role in our own selves. Before we can have other people confront that. And this has been really big that's what I'm writing my book on.
Come on.
It has to start with you, man, because a lot of this stuff shows up in our field for a reason. If it wasn't something that's pertinent to an aspect within your own consciousness, it would not be in your field. And for sometimes we have to recognize it in us to see it in other people so they can see the introduction of what may need to be worked on. Secondly, I know what you're going to say about the humility. Right? I thought about you the other day because I was writing about humility. And the powerfulness that I see in it is that this ego loves to be esteemed at the expense of other people. And it's so limited because duality is, although it's a fragment, a perception of a sphere that's meant for evolution to evolve. In the nature of it. Ego is so hyperinflated where the vanity takes place of the aspect of who a person really is. That's why you see stuff like the orange guy, who can esteem it, have all the power to influence everything and not still be happy. Right? It's an underlying thing that says, I need to be esteemed. I need to be important. And it doesn't take into consideration of it. What's wrong with having a sense of humility? It does not diminish the true value of who you are as a being, as a person. I don't need to esteem myself at the expense of your own being.
Weakness have been assigned to it. When I'm talking to people about it, in using those words like humility or sensitivity, it's like, I ain't no punk.
No, for real.
And it's like, wait, that's actually where the strength, because you are able to, it strengthens your ability to discern, because you have some emotional sensitivity that then allowed you to assess your outside world with a sound mind.
You know what I heard? I heard a balance of masculine and feminine is what I heard. But Lord forbid you can feel. don't let you be able to feel. What you mean? I'll be hearing that sometimes. They be like, you soft. I'm sensitive. I can feel. That's good. Because we've been conditioned not to. And we crawl over and we die. How is that normal? How is it that we talk about the talk shows? Which I really wanted to say, we may never ever have a culture and a generation with music and art that was so beautiful. I feel sorry. That's why a lot of these young people, that's why they get the condition they have. You know what I'm saying? The music and everything. But you know, it's a beautiful thing to be able to feel, man. And I think that what you're doing is really important. To help people have the space to let it, that it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we brothers, and there's been times we broke down, you know, to each other.
Yeah, for
And I think how valuable that is, especially considering as a man that we go through hardships. I have struggled with the mask of performance, having this idea of persona where I don't know if it's okay for me to break down.
Yeah.
Right? I remember a woman asked me if I was okay one day, and I was like, what if I said no? Because I'm really not okay.
Yeah.
And even that feels like, bro, I have the other part of it that's like, you got the house, you got the kids, you got like, who are you to be feeling any kind of way? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people feel. I don't have the space to even have what I need to really break down comfortably because I got to make sure we good. And that's sad a lot of parents carry that.
Because what's
And
going to
leaders.
happen if I do? Like, that's another
Yeah,
thing. What's going to happen? I break down.
Then what?
Who going to pay these bills?
Yeah, for real.
And I think that's the worry. That's
Yeah.
the worry. And this is the thing. I think what you were just saying, like I think about men and women, right?
Yeah.
We just lost my grandfather.
Yeah, come
and
on,
so
man.
watching my dad navigate through that has been one of the hardest things for
Yeah.
me because I see my daddy as this strong, you know, man,
Yeah.
but he's not the same person
Yeah.
anymore,
Yeah.
right? And so I feel like if he were to break down, he would think, okay, well, I'm supposed to be the strong one. And if they see me not strong,
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
how is that going to affect him? And I'm like, Daddy, it's okay not to be okay. And
Yeah.
I think that's what we deal with a lot with our men. Like, it's this thing in y'all that's like, oh, I got to be strong. I can't show any
She talking about me.
weakness.
So what?
That's what she talking about me. I'm just kidding.
No, because you feel like it's a liability. You
yeah,
feel like,
that's
yeah.
what-
the
it's
liability
okay
portion.
Yeah.
not to
But
be
I'm
okay.
gonna say this. She's right. Right. She's right. What I've started studying is that our natures are different.
Mm.
And that's hard for us to, I think we overlook that, right? Our natures are different.
Yeah.
Our roles are different. And in this world, roles get confused, right? And I'm not talking about anything with gender or anything. I'm just talking about
Position.
with men.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some weight
Yeah.
you're supposed to carry.
That's true.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
get that. I get it.
some weight you have to carry. And I think more of us men need to find problems in the world that are heavy and assume them, because all of us can't go for the weak roles.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
You know, somebody
That-
gotta have,
that's
like
it.
Brother Toure. Some of us are gonna have to have the self-confident enough to lead a nation.
Yeah.
Come
You
on,
see
bro.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do it, even under the threat of death. And I think we're also dealing with a younger generation that's not based in scripture.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you
Yeah.
mention things like discernment, the spirit,
Yeah.
people run away from that
They
because
don't
they didn't come
understand
from
it.
that
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
that's why they don't have no foundation.
Yeah. That's
You
it.
cannot get away from it.
Yeah.
Those of us that are influencing, we're not the source of our inspiration. But
part.
encouragement has to be earned too.
Yeah.
You earn encouragement by meeting and overcoming obstacles
Let's go, bro.
in every field
so
of human
good.
endeavor.
Yes, sir.
You
That's so
feel what
good.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
yes,
so
sir.
again, so as men now,
No.
our women
Yeah.
and the value of a woman is, women are receivers, right? So if we bring you our problem, you're gonna amplify it, not make the problem worse, but you're gonna experience it different. If I give that to you, a lot of what we need as men is you gotta have brotherhood.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely.
And women have to have sisterhood, and the languages don't speak the same.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I have my trials, right?
Yeah.
The power of being able to be vulnerable to another brother that I know got the same weight,
Facts,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Come on.
and he's careful about how he chooses his words. When he gives his encouragement, he say, "You ready for this, brother? You sure? Okay. You good? We good." Or he'll take you out to eat, or he'll grab a drink for you.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is he reminds you that it's not that we don't want to break down, like when you were talking about with your father. He's grieving and then he's getting ready to assume the position.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You're going to be the person that they're going to have to call on now. But every time somebody dies, it reminds us of how close
Yeah, we are.
this is for us, not in the sake of death, but just being reminded of this life cycle
the
thing
journey.
that you have to
Yeah,
go
the
through.
journey, man.
And I think this world's goal is to keep you distracted as long as possible so you can wake up and say, damn, I'm 50.
Come on, bro. Come on.
You see what I'm saying?
For real.
And then make you think that you can't reach your goals because you put an age on it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of Muslims don't celebrate their birthdays.
Yeah, man, I was just thinking that
they don't because psychologically you can't say that they old because it's not something that they pay attention to.
Yeah.
Every year you put a candle on that cake, you say, "Damn, I'm old." Now you start thinking and acting like that. So we don't celebrate, but we don't celebrate them. You know what I'm saying?
That's why my sciatica hurting right now, bro. I should celebrate that birthday.
Okay, so
big
let me get on that point.
Let's get back to the jazz.
Let's get back to that.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. If you are a man though, and you don't have that brotherhood, and you bottle that up, what happens? That could be disastrous.
Okay, so platforms like this, right? So
Your pressure cooker.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
No,
what
no,
I'm
for real.
saying.
well, again, so like we were saying, and I'm gonna get off the point because I want to hear from you all is we have to get to the point now where there's too many resources and information out there. Like literally, when you wake up, what you put your attention to is what is either allowing you to grow or not grow. And you got to understand that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We're not living life like this thing has a method to it.
Yeah.
And we got to understand that life has to be lived a certain kind of way in order for you to grow. Now, majority of people don't know that.
Not facts, for real.
Yeah.
They're deaf, dumb, and blind.
No.
Yeah.
They can see truth and can't discern it. They can hear it. And so now that you know that, that's what we talk about being on a dead level. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the knowledge of self. They got to be raised.
Yeah.
And those of us that are going to, all of us got that responsibility, to be honest with you. But once you become aware of it and you assume it, you have to do it in the best of manners.
Yeah.
You don't want to injure a person by trying to get them up because you feel like it's not happening.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I work in jails, bro.
Yeah.
And I've met people today and I've shook hands that have taken lives.
Yeah.
You see? And I still managed to be compassionate. You see what I'm saying? I still managed to show up and deal with people in a certain kind of manner. But I don't think that there's no insignificant soul. I just think that, you know, some of us are too busy with trying to acquire things that we're not taking that energy to try to fix people. My mentorship has nothing to do with my employment. Because if it did, my attitude would change when certain things don't come in that the transaction don't right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, it's a blessing to find your purpose, but understand that, and this is what I've learned, God wants you to yearn and struggle and strive and fight to know him. That's why a lot of people don't try to do it. Because they want it to be easy. They just want to close their eyes, point in the book and have it figured out. No, look at all this confusion out here. He wants you to have to strive to learn him, because then when you get to that point, can't nobody question it.
Right.
Because you know that you've been through. Now, I'm Muslim. I know God good. I know he's good to the Christian. I know he's good to the Jew. I know he's good to the Rastafarian. And I know he's good to the Muslims. You see what I'm saying? I know that. And I know he's not confined to one name. All good names belong to him. But I think for men and women of purpose, I think you would do your favor, your people, yourself, your mission, you'll do all of that of a disservice if you do all of this, but never say all praise be to God.
Come on. Facts.
Yeah.
Man, that was
Yeah,
good.
people don't want that duty, man. You know, something about knowledge that comes with the duty. And once you know it, you can't unknow it, and it comes with the responsibility. And the reality is that responsibility can be heavy sometimes.
It's heavy.
You can carry it.
And that's
It's
why
heavy.
No, I'm not saying me. I'm just saying in
It's
general.
heavy.
I'm talking about human nature. It's just like the mentorship thing.
It's heavy.
You give them it and you give them the knowledge, but the knowledge comes with the duty. There's accountability sometimes that comes with it. And not everybody wants that.
Yeah, LaCretia.
Yeah.
Can I drink this?
Yeah.
I got to pay for it.
That's why we be sitting still. Go ahead.
No. You got
Well, that's why when you might see your father sitting still by himself, like Jalo said, he's preparing.
Yeah, straight
And
up.
so sometimes women will be like, "Well, what are you thinking?"
She want to be your
I want to
comfort.
know. I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what you're thinking. What's on your mind? And sometimes we're sitting preparing.
Yeah.
Because we know we have to be what's expected of us and more.
For sure.
Yeah.
Me being a girl dad and being a husband, coming from a very strong mother who really wasn't emotional. My wife almost broke up with me. We was dating, but like 6 months in,
She was like,
and she was just like, "You're not emotional."
Yeah.
And she got to know me more, my family, and she figured out real quick, oh, this is why. But me being a girl dad and a husband, tapping into being soft. And I've repurposed soft. Soft for me is an acronym. Securely overcoming.
Of course it is. I'm sorry.
Please give me the acronym.
Yeah.
Give me the acronym, bro.
What is that acronym?
Come on, Nuke. Give me the acronym, bro.
Soft is SOFT, securely overcoming feelings of tenderness. Securely because everything in society has been telling us that we should go away from any feeling at all. Overcoming because we have to face that. We have to face what society is telling us and go past it. Feelings because we ain't supposed to be feeling it. Tenderness is because look at everyone that we look up to, from Minister Farrakhan to Tupac, to James Baldwin, to Martin Luther King, to Malcolm X, Toni Morrison, like all of these icons that we look up to. They were passionate, but they were vulnerable, and that's what we appreciated because they were honest. So when you are securely overcoming feelings of tenderness, you are looking at society's expectations of you as a man, and you dismantling all of it.
Come on.
And so I'm soft. I'm soft all day because my daughters can talk to me about certain things because I need them to be able to talk to me about certain things. My wife, she can be open about her trauma to me because I am the person that she should be first coming to. I would love her to have her sisterhood as well as I'm going to have my brotherhood because we have that dynamic of communicating totally different. But I need her to understand she can come to me if she would like to.
Sure.
And so you have to overcome that as a man. You have to be soft, especially if you raising humans, not just young ladies, because the young men need to know that and they need to see from their fathers, from their male role models, any male, because a lot of us, how we grew up, men weren't intentional role models. Them telling, I used to get random lessons from my uncles. A punch in the chest would let me know I need to stick my chest out, walk with my head up. They're not, it was an anomaly for a young man to get that type of attention from an older black man because they was just trying to make it. They just trying to pay bills themselves. They trying not to get Rodney King'd. They dealing with everything they dealing with in the 80s and the 70s. So someone, a black man to pour into other young black men coming up, that was like an anomaly, especially with your words. So it's more action oriented. And so you have to be that example to the young men, to the young ladies as well. Sure. Show them what they're aspiring to look at when it comes to a spouse and to show young men what they want to be like.
That's good, I think also, bro, I want to say this too, that we as a community, and we're getting better at it, we put a lot of our responsibilities on the women, brother. We have, and it hasn't allowed them to really tap into the power of their femininity because they have to answer questions and show up in ways that we supposed to be doing that. And that's one of the reasons why some things, the biggest blessing that a woman could give to her husband is to allow him to make mistakes so that he can learn how to make critical decisions because that's your role. You have to do that. You have to be able to answer these critical questions. Like you said, my daughters never ask me about what's bothering you, Daddy. They just be feminine and just be there. I have to there's things that I have to do. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not hyper masculine, but what I'm saying is that I'm learning that as a man, there are certain responsibilities that God has assigned to you. Stop complaining, brother.
I think that goes back to...
You see what I'm saying?
That goes back to your foundation.
For sure.
I think
most of all of us came up in the church. So that already kind of gives us a mentality around what a man should be doing and his responsibilities as the woman as well. And so when you don't have that foundation at all, what are you going by?
Gotta learn. He was like, I am not hyper masculine, bro. You sing R&B, bro. You sing R&B, and you got an acronym for song.
I used to sing.
And he sings it well.
He can sing.
Bro, I used to get down a little bit, bro.
No, you incredible.
When I was younger.
Oh, you was incredible.
Man,
No, you incredible now, bro.
I'm
wearing his 40s.
shots heard of his before. This man is great.
Oh, he's phenomenal. I just wanted to throw a couple shots to him.
Now look, if my singing, now that's good, right? I like it. I'm good at it. Brought me the most passion in the world. But when you see people dying, though, if I'm not gonna say nothing that's gonna make them better, then like I wrote a song. I said she never found use and broken hearts and broken cars because neither one seem to get her far.
Yeah.
It's getting less romantic. Her last boyfriend, he could dress the parts, but he never had a heart.
Come on. Cool.
Yeah.
I said, I want to be the one that can change things for you. So tell me, have you ever made love to someone that you can be proud of? I said, but keep that your secret. Save yourself for your husband because your virginity is never lost where you know you left it. So now again,
Listen, bro. Hey,
go ahead, bask
run
it.
it
Just-
back.
I just-
Yo,
Bask
But
it.
what I'm
has that
saying
ever
is,
happened on the real room before?
No.
but what I was saying is, use all that you use everything that you have for righteousness
Yeah.
and for civilization, right? Get civilized, stay civilized,
Yeah.
and then civilize others.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
the goal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My foundation, my root is Elijah Muhammad,
Yeah.
right? Civilization. You want to cultivate people in a way that they can show up amongst the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know what I'm saying? If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and that's just kind of rooted in me. And I know it comes with a lot of weight, but you know, when the minister is my primary example. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And I'm watching how he goes through those, and he never got on the mic and say, "Man, you niggas make me tired."
Yeah. Yeah.
He loves us more
Yeah.
than we have hated ourselves.
Yeah.
So I would hate to have somebody like that in my midst,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then I look back and I didn't help him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's a pitiful thing.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
like my kids saying, "You didn't go hurt a man. So what were you doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we gotta have more to share with young people than our whoremonger stories.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's it.
Because that's another thing. One thing I hear so much is pipeline to prison is being shoved down their throats. And it was like, hey, we have to introduce them to something else.
Yeah.
Like that, because that starts to wear down on the psyche too. But as you all were speaking, especially as a man, I think about something that me and an ex of mine, when we were on this conversation about masculine, feminine energy, especially with it not being gender specific, right?
Sure.
But
Yeah.
understanding the balance of both. He said, women are like spaghetti and men are like waffles. For women, everything interconnects, everything touches, whereas men are more compartmentalized. Just like those squares, like everything is in its own box and they don't touch. But for you all, it all touches. And so the question, especially when we talk about mentoring youth, what is the balance? Because I hear that a lot. Like, oh, they need a man. You can go with the girls because you are a woman. And we'll then find a man to come and talk to these young boys, when the majority of the young boys that I serve, at least, are in a home of single mothers.
Absolutely.
And they are in a home with stressed out mothers. And and that's the head of the household, which means that she
Matriarch.
she's battling between
Just
her
trying to
masculine and
survive,
feminine.
yeah.
Right. But since she's the head of the household,
Yeah, matriarch.
she has to operate in a feminine, a
Masculine.
masculine energy.
Yeah.
So the irritability,
Yeah.
like the not
Aggressiveness.
being
Yeah.
right, there's a bit of a dissociation that has to happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we are seeing communally. Like, they just don't care. No, they're disassociated.
Yeah.
Like, they have to survive their own life. And so, and also I think so with the young girls who take pride and wear an attitude like a badge of honor, although I believe anger is sacred,
Yeah.
which is a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But because they don't have a great relationship with their mother, because they also come from a single parent household, they feel like that's a competitive energy.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about our youth growing up, right, being a husband, being a girl dad, knowing how to create and make space for your husband, one of the disservices I see is that we keep them segregated in their adolescence, and then they grow up and say, figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
for real.
And
Yeah.
so now it's a continuation. Like, I have the privilege of now working with the football coach, and I do character development for the football team. And I thought, and I really commended him for that, because for one, you could have got a man who can do all those things.
Yeah.
But I think especially because their issues aren't just the logical, tangible things. It's the invisible things that's happening inside of them. It's them not knowing how to actually be nurturing to themselves and be soft with themselves. I'm hearing grown men who are saying, in my adulthood, I learned this. So when I think about turning the tide, it's about doing it better than what we had. When we understand, like, we had to get it how we live. Now we need to go in, and also when it comes, and I agree with you, Muhammad, when you said some things you don't ask kids permission on.
No, absolutely.
I came in here to lead you, not for you to like me. So if you don't like me, you're going to have to deal with that and whoever else you want to deal with that with. But while we're here, this is what we're doing.
They need that. I think they need it. No, and I think now watch
they
this.
Respect it.
When they get older.
They do. They do.
When the responsibilities of life get on them, they're going to thank you for that.
Not for real.
We were disciplined, right?
Yeah.
And again, so when I don't let this world be my standard with certain things. But I know, like, if I'm sitting with a young man, your whole energy, your aura, your tone, your eye contact, your gentleness, when I can watch my children, my wife can tell them to do something 7 times. But you give them that look, I need that taken care of immediately. Because you need to get it taken care of. So I think for every family, well, like to what Shay said, it takes a community. When you try to isolate your family, that you're going to be the only model for your children, you limit yourself. But if we remember that even though you may not have a father in a home, you got a father at a church. You got a father in a mosque. You know what I'm saying? You got a father on the basketball team. I watch my son's football coach instill things in him. He does it aggressive. And one of the mothers said one time, can I say something? He said, no, you say it when he get home. But you brought him here for me to train him. So right now, no, you cannot say nothing to him. Because when the problems of life come, when people come in here shooting in your community, when issues are addressing, either you're going to turn your heels or you're going to go at it like a man and deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And following the minister, I'm going to go and deal with it. You see what I'm saying? I have to go and deal with it. Because it ain't going to, problems don't take care of themselves. One of the most misused words in religion is miracle because it means results without effort. You see what I'm saying? You ain't no mystery God, bro. You ain't gonna sit and wait on no bread to make itself. And once we understand that, you start understanding that there are laws that you have to follow.
Absolutely.
You see universal laws that you're gonna have to follow. So at the root of my conversation, even with mental health, I don't put religion on it, but God is the source of my strength. You see what I'm saying? Other than that, then I'm self-sufficient. Then I'll become a God besides God. You see what I'm saying?
Co-creation.
And another thing is, when we talk about mentorship, whatever I expose to the world from my viewpoint is not for vanity, right? But I don't wake up looking at who I need to entertain. You know, our young people are taught what you wear is for who you want to see you and not for you. Because what you look like is uncomfortable to you. But you want somebody to see you that way. So with these young people, they don't have the life experiences. They need guidance, but they do have reason. They can ask questions. You see what I'm saying? That's true. They can ask those. You just because how many times my mother said, "You'll get it later." You'll get it later. You're not supposed to understand the world at 16 years old. You're not supposed to. But what we do need to do is we do need to allow them to be children, though. We do need them to have a certain point of their life where they're not worried about the responsibilities that we got to manage. That means that us as parents, you can't be lazy and do nothing with your children on the weekends. Then you get mad when they rumbling in the house. It's like you got to be intentional about your parenting. You got to be intentional about your nourishing. You got to be intentional about taking care of your spouse. You can't love her when you married her. But then she becomes a trophy. The rest of your life, you expect her to love you forever. You see what I'm saying? Just like with a man. I mean, with a woman. We have to tend to each other. But this community, like the East Side, like I'm from East St. Louis, you know, they call it the 89 blocks of drama, right? I didn't have that family net like I see some people have. You meet up, I can be carefree around you. I can just be myself and laugh. I don't have that. So when I'm in spaces like that, I get uncomfortable. But I say, don't judge me though. I just wasn't raised like that. You know what I'm saying? People playing games. I remember my white people didn't want me to play charades. They want me to try to act like I was a what is it, duck or something? I was like, man, this is so uncomfortable, because I'm just not used to it.
Yeah.
So I've learned to recognize that not everybody is raised the same.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not standoffish. Men, we ain't gotta be in each other's face all day like that. When I sit with our grandfather, what's up, man? You good? We good. The silence is talking.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He not digging into my brain unless he wants to. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned a certain level of courtesy.
Yeah.
But all of us are different. We all come from different cultures and upbringings, and we all going in different directions in life. I want to be remembered for the good that I've done.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so I'm trying to live my life in a certain way like that. You see what I'm saying? But I don't knock the brother. I'm on that corner on 23rd in a suit and bow tie because I care about them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Imagine the fear that can jump in your heart when it's a shooting, then you get a phone call. That's where we're going to be at next week with the paper.
Yeah.
Where somebody just died at.
Yeah.
So before I even get out the car, it's to Allah come, to Allah return.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But whenever Allah called me home, inshallah, I left enough evidence for my children to know, don't cry over me, pick up the mantle and finish the work.
Yeah.
That's
See what I'm saying?
Come on, bro.
That's what we got. That's a part of that being a man. Finish the work, son. I don't need you wallowing over me. We knew this was coming.
Yeah.
See, we don't cry over death. We cry over unfortunate death.
Yeah.
Ate ourselves to death. Sexed ourselves to death.
Yeah.
That part we grieve over. But for me, I'm a soldier, bro. Get up and pick the work up.
Let's
Yeah.
go,
That's why
bro.
I take my girls to everything I do. I need them to see what I love, what I'm
Yeah.
passionate about outside the house. So I bring them to stuff I'm doing in the community. I bring them to stuff I'm doing for work.
They gotta
I need
see
them to
it.
see.
They gotta see it.
If I can, I bring them to set if I'm filming something. I have plenty of videos where my girls were small and they wouldn't allow me to sit them down and they start crying. So I'm on stage performing a poem with my girls in my arms.
Not for real.
Yeah, they spoiled.
Not for real.
Man, as well. But
For
yeah,
real.
so
They got to.
my thing is I need them to see what daddy is passionate
They got
about
to.
outside the family, and so they can pick up the mantle. So putting those gems in them, asking at a very young age, critical thinking.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want to leave when you leave this place?
Yeah.
Because no one has successfully left this world alive. So what do you plan to do with it while you're here?
Yeah.
And when you ask certain, even teenagers, when you ask them that, they have no idea.
Yeah.
But I feel like
They be
because
like,
of
I'm
that
gonna get a
foundation.
scat pack.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. That's what that car is called. A scat. Ain't
Is that what it called?
I think it's like a scat
I
pack.
have
Something
no
like
idea.
I
that.
don't know. It
I
sounds
don't know
expensive though.
either.
Whatever
Yeah.
it's
Probably
called.
ain't heard of it.
Yeah.
That's what they all say.
I ain't got that Black cat.
Yeah,
Okay,
something like
listen,
that.
I would love to
Is it
keep
time?
going.
I'm
It's,
like, yo,
yo,
we ready to
we there. Okay,
Yeah,
we
we ready
can't.
It felt
We
like
need a part two, okay?
Big Mama cooking Thanksgiving. I was like, yo,
Man,
we're
I'm
cooking.
like, okay, y'all good.
Yeah.
I love this conversation. Okay, so real quick, let's end it. What is one last thing you want to say to the people? And then how can they find you? We'll start this way.
Right. I will say, look this camera.
Is that camera on top of that camera?
I would say be very strategic with what you want to do, because your goals without writing them down are just dreams. So you set realistic ECDs, that's expectancy dates, completion of dates, and you want to deliver on them, right? So you set dates, you set realistic initiatives around those dates, and you keep yourself accountable. Even if you have to set a timer on your phone of, on every Wednesday, I'm supposed to be doing such and such for myself. And see, a lot of us, after our 9 to 5, we're not tired, we're just not inspired. And so you need to be inspired by your own, if it doesn't have anything to do with what you do during the day, then what's your exit strategy? But with your exit strategy of your 9 to 5, you need to be deliberate and intentional with setting up the task to do so. Again, Courtney Mack Woods McClain. You could follow me on IG, Mac, M-A-C _ since 1985. Courtney, C-O-R-D-N-E-Y, no U or T. McClain, M-C-C-L-A-I-N on LinkedIn, Facebook, all the platforms.
So what I would say is sensitivity, your sensitivity is not the problem. It is the portal. It is time to tap in. I believe that this is a opportune time, especially for Black folks. While there is a lot of dismay and there's a lot of dysfunction going on in the world, I see opportunity. And why I see opportunity is because we have tried all the things we can to fix how people feel about us. We've tried to respond to racism. We've tried to respond to all these things that has left us depleted and discombobulated, if you will. This is the time that we are now pouring back into us, which is why the radical acceptance is important. Deal with the triggers, become curious about them. I think pay homage to your trauma because it came from something. You know, trauma feels so much more inflated than what it actually is, or triggers. So I would say get to a space. If you don't have people around you, go and find people. There is a level of accountability that we all have to have in our healing. No one can do the work for you. So find safe people where you can explore these things so that you can change the trajectory in your bloodline. Even if you didn't come from a healthy family, one can come from you. And that's something that's going to continue to outlast you for generations.
Yes, ma'am.
And also, you can find me on Instagram, Impact to Imprint. That's IMPACT, the number 2, IMPRINT_LLC. You can also go to my website, sign up for my newsletter. That's Impact to Imprint, IMPCT, number 2, IMPRINT.com. And tap in with me. I'm all about holistic mental health, spirituality, community, and culture.
That was fire.
Right.
Yeah.
God dang.
I don't know if I want to go.
Yeah, man. What do I have to say? Man, I think let your pain be a compass. Listen, you can be any place, any time, any race, any culture, any geographical location around the world, upon any timeline, but you happen to be right here. So if you're here for a specific reason. I would say do everything you can to give space to understand what that is, because there's only one you, and I don't think there's a better time for you to be the expression of what that looks like to serve humanity. There's a huge problem, unlike anything that we've ever possibly experienced, but I know our ancestors overcame far more than what we even imagined in our day and time. And I don't think there's a better time for us to be able to come together and magnify what that excellence looks like in terms of our spiritual purpose. So I love you. You can. My name is Danielle Cole. Find me on Facebook as Danielle Cole. On Instagram, I am Almighty Already. You can also check out our website, manhoodmasterclass.com. And on Facebook, our men's group is Modern Manhood Foundation.
Cool. My advice to the youth would be the hardest part of your story is the most important part to your story. And it's often the part of your story that people want to hear the most. I don't think that God put any of us through what we went through unless it served a purpose to serve his will. And this to make us stronger for the bigger goal that we have ahead of us. And I think that that's what we need to focus on. Also, a bit of advice as we talk about mentoring and organization. Understand that your day starts the night before. Minimize the amount of decisions that you have to make by preparing yourself the day before. Every day, when you get through with your day, ask yourself what got accomplished, what didn't get accomplished, why didn't it get accomplished, and get ahead on it. My name is Ibrahim Shabazz Jalo. You can follow me on Instagram at @IAM_Jalo, JALLOW. You can reach out to me directly there or on Facebook at Ibrahim Shabazz Jalo. I would love to hear from you, and I hope that something that we shared was helpful.
All right. Any last parting words before
I got one. When I die, I pray my soul got color so I can still be a brother.
Come on.
Hey, snap, snap.
Let's go, baby.
Yes. And then also, we cannot end this without thanking you for
Yes, ma'am.
providing
Yes,
this
ma'am.
space.
What an amazing.
Yes.
One, two.
Like you,
Ain't she
you're
wonderful?
doing,
I just want to
you're
say
doing God's
1, 1,
work.
2, 2. That's it. Go ahead.
Doing God's work. And so thank you for creating the space where we can have much needed, relevant, and healing conversations.
Absolutely.
Good for all of us.
The
So.
real room.
Always.
Yeah.
Listen, You heard from some amazing people, and I'm going to ask you this. Do you want your life to be an asset or a liability? If you love what you heard or seen, please like, share, or subscribe and leave a review. Thank you. Until the next time. See you in the real room.
Yeah.